Well, it's time for your questions and some honest answers. And Pat, this first one comes from Linda, who says, I've been attending my church since 1989. I was saved there, baptized there, and raised my children there. When I started attending, there were 400 members. Now there are about 60,000, which is great. Recently, they decided to change the name and take the word Christian out of the name. Nobody seems to have the answers to why this decision was made. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know enough about it. I mean, did they change the name to Baptist, or did they change it to Lutheran or Methodist or Presbyterian? That's what usually you have over churches. There are not too many Christian churches. Of course, that's a separate denomination. Yeah. So I really don't know. I tell you, there was one organization that they probably will jump on me for this, but it was called the Christian Children's Fund. It was located in Richmond, Virginia. Yeah. It was a wonderful charity, and I was, great fan of what they were doing. They took the name Christian out of it and changed it to the Child Fund. You remember?
Really? I didn't know they did that.
And it was like somebody stuck a knife in my heart. It was just something about it that to me was just terrible. Now, I don't know what they've done in this church. Maybe it was called Christian and now it's called Presbyterian. I don't know. So what is my comment? I can't comment.
Okay, this is a viewer who says, I am a pilot. I got fired from my work on July 2nd this year, 2017, where I made about $90,000. My wife was devastated. I told her not to be. I've been praying and asking God to help me. It's now October, and I don't have a job yet. I still have faith, but I do need help. What am I doing wrong?
Well, what you're doing wrong is probably not selling yourself. People got to know you were around, and you have to go where people are hiring pilots. There is a demand for private for private pilots. Mm-hmm. And of course, there are commercial opportunities available, which means you may have to upgrade your skills. But I think if you're a good pilot and you have good experience and you have good references, there shouldn't be too much trouble finding a position with an organization that has its own private planes. I notice, however, GE is just going to sell a whole bunch of their planes, so maybe some of them are downgrading, but I think you can find a job. So just get out there and look for it. Don't be sitting around waiting for a knock to come on the door. You start knocking on their doors and answering ads and applying where there are places that you never can tell where an opportunity will open up. All right.
This is Rhonda, who says, I'm a teacher and a parent. Over the years, I've noticed children carrying very heavy backpacks loaded with textbooks and considerable amounts of homework. For years, I've been alarmed and concerned about the health components of this. I'm just referring to the physical issue with weighty backpacks, although there are other issues that can be brought up here as well. Just last week, my 14-year-old's backpack was about 30 pounds. How could I approach doing something about this and advocating for children in our country? Any thoughts?
You can join the PTA, the Parent Teachers Association. You can get involved with many groups. I think it's not a heavy lift to advocate for children's health. Mm-hmm. And I do think those backpacks are stressing those young bodies beyond what they need. If a child is under a load beyond what his physical body can stand, he will wind up with some kind of curvature, some kind of arthritis, some kind of damage. And I think, I know what you're talking about, and I totally agree with you. Let's make a noise, go to the local television station, get people together and begin a crusade. There are all things you can do, and I think the school board will want to stop on that one real fast. All right.
This is a viewer who says, my story and question is that I lived with a man for 10 years. He had 5 children by 4 different women. He had no money, no home, and no credit. I took him into my home and helped him for all those years. He told me he would help me when his child support was done. Well, all his child support fell off, and he walked away from me at the worst time in my life. It was 12 hours after I found out my father was full of cancer. My father passed away 12 weeks later. I was so hurt when I went through all this alone. I think everything inside of me broke. I keep asking for karma to come back on him, but nothing happens. I just found out he got married 18 months after doing all this bad stuff to me. Does God serve justice on bad people?
You know, this karma thing is a Hindu doctrine, so those of us who are Christians aren't waiting for karma to hit somebody.
Yeah.
You know, that's the wheel. You're going around and karma will come back. You get bad karma. No way. Look, you're foolish. You're living with this guy for so many years. You're picking up the tab for his meals, and he's living on you. And he's a freeloader, and you're discouraged because he walks out on you. He's a bum. Why don't you act like that? You know, he's what he is. Why do you get all torn up about it? You made a bad call, and I recommend you recover from it. So he went off and got married. So rather than waiting for some cosmic event to strike him down, why don't you just get on with your life and serve the Lord and forgive? When you have aught against any, forgive that your Heavenly Father might forgive you. Forgive him, okay?
Okay, and come to the Lord in the process. I'm not sure she
did. I mean, she started living with this guy, and they weren't married, and he
had 4 kids by so many other women.
Oh man, and she's waiting for karma.
Yeah.
The wheel of fate to come around. He's got good karma and bad karma. That's ridiculous. All right.